What a start for Andoni Iraola signing Kvaratskhelia, who seems to be a main player after a historic comeback against Man United. Liverpool need to keep going. The upturn in form this season in the Premier League. Could it lead to the Champions League as well? Yes, people, new episode. We're back. We're back with Liverpool. We've got players coming back from fitness issues and injuries. Dean Howson, Ryan fully fit, Ungamoa, Bermond, another thing about him. His face is back on, but the kits are back off. Yes, the game's causing me a little bit of trouble at the moment, but as long as we got the faces, we're going retro now for the retro season already. If you haven't seen the new kits, watch the last episode, you will definitely see them, and hit a like whilst you're over there. Please subscribe as well, we're trying to hit 10k. And hit the Premier League and the Champions League. 9 points out of 9, there is 4 teams to do this, including the rivals in Everton. Now, according to Andoni Iraola's contract, he just has to win the Champions League, which starts today. We've got games against Midtjylland. Oh my days, look at the Carabao Cup game as well. I might have to sacrifice that. Manchester City, I do want to play Juventus, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, some tough league phase games. But that's what we're in it for, as Andoni Iraola comes to speak to me saying, "Boss, you still sure? You are still sure we focus on the Champions League over the Premier League with the start we've had?" I say we should focus on both. But I think today we get Champions League up and running. Save your best squad for that. Of course, you can't do anything about injuries. And plus, I see the rivals all started well. We need to beat Everton. Teach them a lesson that they will never be as good as us. And we have to go with the Juve game. It is crucial. Away. With the injury, though, a crucial one. I knew we'd get one. Florian Wirtz is injured. Dean Howson as well has to sit this one out. The amount of bloody fatigue we've got going around. Right. Retro, back to the 25-26 season kit, against what should be a very good Juventus side now. They've had a little bit of time to plan, go into the future. Of course, they do have, I think Van Dijk went there, but they definitely got Cody Gakpo, and that's going to be a bit of inside info. They'll know a little bit more how we play. Conceição goes edge of the box into Cody Gakpo. Locatelli, Gakpo's on that stronger foot. Locatelli goes wide. Dominic Szoboszlai playing centrally again. I think I do need to change his position. Back to that cam slot. Florian Wirtz, I always said, was very injury prone. McAllister getting the armband a lot more now, but Cody Gakpo, or Ryan Gravenberch, should I say, lining up the Cody Gakpo shot. Jonathan David goes out wide. Kenan Yildiz, he skipped away from us. There we go. Lucas Beraldo's in the way. The run down the line is good. It's Kvaratskhelia off the back of 2 goals. Dominic Szoboszlai across the box. De Gregorio's reading how we play. We've done a lot of fullbacks, running up the wings, crossing the ball, although that wasn't a fullback. Was Dominic Szoboszlai, and I don't mind him doing it. Game's kind of boring, I can't lie. That one shot that didn't curl from Ryan Gravenberch into Jonathan David. Just really played well for Canada, scoring a hat-trick. Mamardashvili, what a good player he is, especially when we have just lost Alisson to age. And there he is, Jonathan David. We could suffer our first defeat. What a goal, by the way, by the Canadian. I think we need to make changes. Why? We were supposed to focus on this competition. Okay, and a beautiful camera angle to carry on the game. Why has it gone to this? I literally can't see anything. I think that's the game probably done. I'm making this game, and I actually mean it, because in a comeback with 2 substitutes, we win the game. Broken game, happy face. Get in there. I feel like I was kind of owed that, and we have lost a game in our simulations. It was to Newcastle just before this. We're at the Carabao Cup to Man City on penalties like the Community Shield. We beat Midtjylland, we beat Wolves, we beat Tottenham. And in this next month, Arsenal and Bayern Munich back to back. Now, this is where the squad gets tested. And speaking of the squad, players are giving out interviews talking about the word ruthless. They are trying to become the next big high-intensity team. And it all comes from this manager. They are so behind. As I said myself, if Iraola doesn't work, we can sack him. The rebuild's not all about him. Oh no. We got rid of Alisson, and Mamardashvili goes and suffers an injury from a 50-50 clash, sidelining him for 2 weeks. It's not the most amount of time, but look at this. It makes Kvicha very unhappy, because that's the reason he came, to play with his Georgian friend. And now he hasn't got him on the field. And boo-hoo, you're still playing. Bradley Barcola is against us here with Arsenal. Aura farming Iraola. Dean Howson back in this lineup. Ryan Gravenberch, in the middle with Wharton. I think McAllister just deserves a sit-out. Florian Wirtz is in this lineup. Still interest going on around him. Ismail Kabia playing for the Arsenal. He's definitely not high-rated, so we should get at him. A lot of running work due for Kvicha, who's kind of upset. So if he doesn't perform, Rio Ngamoa, who the manager loves, is there. As Frimpong is there. He's bloody everywhere. Dominic Szoboszlai, you've got to score. Make sure we've got that lead, as there's Says, a decent player. I thought there was a handball in there. Jaros has waited a long time for this opportunity. He has frankly got to take it. Milos Kerkez. Oh, he's overstepped it. One of the players out of contract. Let's see if we can potentially sign him up today. We've got Bukayo Saka spreading the ball to Bradley Barcola, who's got the number 9 shirt. That is risky for a winger. Someone get this ball, please. Zubimendi. There we go. Let's hope the game breaks again so Arsenal don't have this lead. Straight across the goal. Bloody terrific. And Kvicha's getting hooked. He's getting up to half-time for Rio Ngamoa. We need that pace. We need to attack Kabia. So obvious is the weak link. So let's shuffle the ball across to this left-hand side with Ekatike. Usually the assist king. That's a terrible pass. Selfish. Lucas Beraldo brought on for Huijsen, who just seems to be struggling with fitness. Here we go. Rio Ngamoa. This is the exact matchup we wanted. If Kabia tackles him, fair enough. But he shouldn't tackle him. He's actually standing off him, and his positioning's all over the place. Hugo Ekatike gets it back and then runs straight into Kabia. However, he's dispossessed. Rio Ngamoa, he doesn't know what to do with it. We're spreading it out wide into Milos Kerkez, getting it back in to Rio Ngamoa, who sidestepped like Barcola. And I think this is going to be a defeat. I guess we did say we were waiting for the Champions League, and that is where the focus had to go for the manager. Bayern Munich. Big time. Like Arsenal isn't, by the way. They are. And Marcus Leonardo up front instead of Harry Kane. They would have had to transition. We've had to transition to Kvicha. Being unhappy. Mamadashvili still out of goal. And to be fair, I fielded the same side. I rushed straight into the game to right the wrongs. We really didn't put ourselves into that last game as Kvicha's around his man. Can he get focused here? He's missed. No sign of Manuel Neuer. He's retired just like Harry Kane. It's actually worrying how old Bayern Munich's team's got and how they can just still cut through us. Leonardo probably took that on too early. And I am sure I've just seen Vincent Kompany talking to Jonathan David on the bench, who's already scored against us today. If he gets on and scores again, I'm not a happy man. Guessing him and Marcus Leonardo, both the plans to replace H. Kane as Musiala cutting inside. Sasha Boy, we've got to go quickly. That's where our success came from. Florian Wirtz. Switch that across. Look at the space for Kvaradona. He's got to hit this on his left foot. What is that? Broke the jaw of a steward. And I think he's got to come off. No way am I putting up with that. Rio Ngamoa, welcome. Not currently losing this one. But, you know, the way the past few games have gone. Yes, we won against Juventus, but it was lucky. Hugo Ekatike, we need that luck. And Upamecano's getting it through his legs and still blocks the ball. Dean Huijsen passed that quickly. Milos Kerkez definitely playing for a contract. I think I'm going to sign him up to one. You've definitely seen an improvement this season. That is a really good tap in. That's going to be handled. And it's a shame. Jamal Musiala to now try and run down this left-hand side. Luis Diaz. Musiala. Marcos Leonardo is around us. Leonardo's looking for the ankle. Luis Diaz again. There we go. Wharton. Pass. Or keep on moving, actually. I regret telling you that. The defender, Upamecano, staying so far back, it's keeping us all on side. Dominic Szoboszlai over the top. Rio Ngamoa, he's on. It's the switch we are making famous. It's a camera angle which just shows particles. What am I playing here? Bloody Skyrim? What a fantastic game, and he's even putting it online. Look at that. If only our big money man can repeat it. Now I need to change him back to a left mid. That is done, but I've got to speak to him, or Iraola has to speak to him. Kvicha, you was the difference maker for the Champions League, and you've been poor. Not just in that, in 2 games. I know you've lost your friend in Mamadashvili, but it's only an injury. Come on. Are you unhappy at the club? And he says, no, boss. I just think the form started a bit rough, but I know there is one unhappy player. Oh, really? Can you tell me? I promise you're not a snitch or anything. And he moans and grumbles about it, but it looks like he's going to come out. And he says Florian Wirtz. The move to Real Madrid is tempting him. The injuries he suffered, are they all really true? I mean, he's gone down by 1, and he's submitted a transfer request without saying anything. Looks like he's gone under the nose of the manager. That interest is there. And this will only fuel the rumours we saw last episode of him moving to Madrid. And with all this going on behind the scenes, do we just, frankly, shove him out? We've got Barcelona up next in the Champions League, and I want to get a win in it again. As there it is again, Florian Wirtz. Illness this time, excuses. We're going to send him home, as will Real Madrid be his new home? He needs to have a conversation at some point. As here we are, arriving at the game. Injuries to Rakobra and Jeremy Jacquet, with the awkward fact being, and Gamoa is in, Mamardashvili is in, but Kvicha's out. Now it's about time we get another win. We did get the win against Bayern, of course, but Juventus was scratchy, and Arsenal, come on, our best team on form. Against Lamine Yamal, Lautaro Martinez. He's always the signing I make for Barcelona. Stop copying me game, Hugo Ekitike. Get on that. Get us started quickly. Rio and Gamoa. Low socks now. He's going to go through the middle onto Dominic Szoboszlai. I was trying to shoot. He's still got the ball. Frimpong. Early start. Get a goal. Matt Cucurella, the Real Madrid man in the defence. He's gone back home. Can't just be me who's weirded out by the fact he's gone to Real Madrid despite being through at Barcelona. How is Fermin winning that? Maybe not a statement win. Ansu Fati with the assist. Holy yunk. What's up with our gorgeous Georgians, though? It's like Kvicha couldn't play without Mamardashvili, and he's come back from his injury. Really starting off rough. Beaten at the near post by a Fermin header. Still, let's firmly get back into this game. Kirkes playing for that contract. Almost an own goal. Pedri. Don't do a Man United, causing us needing a comeback. That's a good save, Mamardashvili. And I'm flipping it. Kvicha off the bench instead of starting the game. Yes, you did see Wirtz on that bench stupidly because I accidentally didn't take Rakoba off. So the game's just put him on there to replace him automatically. Definitely not coming onto the field. Disciplinary issues from all them faking injuries. And can we instantly grab a goal? It's Milos Kirkes. He's shooting like Kvara. Joan Garcia as safe as houses. The only shot coming in on his goal was by his own player. That deflection one. Pedri through the middle, over the top. Marc Casado to run at us. Marc Casado. That's not hitting Lamine Yamal. He's never controlling that. A bit of a grudgy tackle by Pedri on Ryan Gravenberch, which isn't fair because Gravenberch got the yellow. And now we go. Look at the shirt pulling on Gravenberch. Pedri wasn't even an advantage, which is shocking. Ekitike, brilliant reverse pass. We're back in Skyrim land. Oh, there we go. We actually get to see the celebration. It is Ryan. Get in there. We just needed to grab that draw. And game done. 1-1 draw. Away at the El Libertador. I hate that it doesn't have the actual name, but is a job well done. But here's a speech from a man not doing a good job. He's gone on Piers Morgan as Florian Wirtz. Now, I don't know why, because he must struggle with the language barrier. Something's going on with Liverpool. But who does he think he is? Ronaldo? Of course, Piers Morgan's going to always back him up, the little stuck-up-to-football player man. Szoboszlai suffered a red card as well. He's definitely still not getting in his Wirtz. I'd rather play Trey Nioni, who's almost at a 75. Decent backup. Conversation now coming in between the manager and Florian Wirtz about this injury debacle. And he says, how dare you accuse me of doing something like that? That's broke my trust, that has. Now I want to move away. I want to go to La Liga. Not like you wanted to do already. Iraola claps back. I'm sure Piers Morgan will be hearing about that in a few seconds. As one thing I forgot to do as well, and I saw in the comments, just stopping right here, as I obviously am going to remove the number 20 from Rion Gamoa. I never noticed that happen. He's going to get the number 33. Or can he get a lower number? As you know what the next game we play is? It is Everton. And another man speaking out is David Moyes. Let's teach these noisy neighbours a lesson. Trainione is going to make that start. Here we go at the Hill Dickey. Love how the first derby went here at the Hill Dickey in real life, if you get me. Tieno Barry, those causes a shock before. I see he is still up front. Dominic Szoboszlai. That red card or that minor injury turned into kind of a long-term one. Kirkes still fighting for that contract. I like how he's playing whilst he's actually fighting, and that was almost an instant goal. Going close, Ryan Gravenberch with the header over the top. Alexis McAllister, Trey Nioni. Trey Nioni, look for the gap. He doesn't find the gap. Now McAllister. McAllister onto Gravenberch. He's going to try the DMs. Delgado, who's going to charge down the wing. We'll cut that out with Jeremy Jacquet. At least we have got a player back from injury. Ryan running through. Hugo Ekitike, if he can hit him. That is a brilliant weighted ball. A terrible chest from Hugo. They've got a youngster on the wing as well. called Shaw. And I usually don't like playing players out of position, but I'm going to make some changes to catch them off guard. We're getting a lot of shots with the central players, so Jones is on and Gamoa's on. And I'm going to try Kvicha in the cam position. Can Ryan try and find Ryan? Gravenberg's the man getting all the shots, but here goes Kvicha. Maradona. Was it hit a hand? I'm sure Merlin's just handled that. He couldn't take the rainbow flick. We've got very jammy. If Kvicha isn't in the middle, however, that doesn't happen. Alexis McAllister, a lot of power, but that's what's needed to beat the goalkeeper. 1-0 on Derby Day. It's not the first time he's scored a penalty at the Hill, Dicky. Gorgeous stuff. Igor in their defence. No wonder we're just breezing past them and getting shots from the edge of the box. Madashvili has to smother. Jeremy Jacquet hooking the ball back in. That was dodgy for Curtis Jones. But Alexis McAllister. Oh, Frimpong. That's skillicious. Ryan, if he can hit around the corner. There's Hugo. He can't shoot. Alexis McAllister keeps us alive. Headed away by Connor Bradley. Rio and Gamoa, no. That's a terrible chance for them. Jeremy Rakoba. Brilliantly done, looking for the gap into Connor Bradley. Charging at the defence. Merlin. The Luca Dean final replacement. Gonna cross this towards the edge. Headed that down, Kirkes. Rakoba. Big swing. Shaw, their youngster, blocks it. I think we've taught Moisey a lesson. Kirkes keeps that alive. And I think we've got to keep him alive. Again, not literally, of course. And David Moyes, he can't take it. Beaten again with Liverpool up next. We sit second in the Premier League. Manchester City atop on goal difference. Exactly the same results. We're after that revenge. They've beaten us in 2 competitions now on penalties. And I fancy a confidence booster of a game. So the next one we're going to play is Middlesbrough. With this man freshly signed up. Kirkes will stay at Liverpool for 2 more years. If Borough beat us, yeah? If Borough bashes, don't know what I'd actually do with myself. We're kind of going full circle. That's terrible from Kvicha. One of the first games we played in the Premier League at Anfield. Don't think I haven't forgotten that first season. Kvicha gets the ball back after his misplaced pass and Hugo Ekitike. Defender standing off, he had to go for it. And you know what? I don't mind it. Alexis McAllister keeping this ball alive around the corner. Jeremy Frimpong, Beaumont, Kvara. Wharton was kind of assessing them angles there. Rio and Gamoa cuts inside. Oh my days, he's taking the roof off. Or should I say the net off. Rio and Gamoa, his first Premier League goal of the campaign. This is the game we get more than 1 goal. On it, Wharton, brilliant. Wharton got that assist for Rio. He sets up Rio again with the new shirt number, so hopefully he starts doing well. Oh, it's a heavy touch. Then again, Morris kind of leant over him. I think that in the Premier League would go to VAR. We can't get rid of it. Morgan Whittaker was going to come in with a crunching tackle. Whittaker back on the ball again. Callum Britton. Come on, Rio and Gamoa. Help your fullback out, Milos Kirkes. Jacquet is having to go and do it with Callum Britton. Okay, Borough out here to mess about. Maybe in the relegation zone. Headed back by Hamilton, ex-Manchester City. McCabe out to Samuel. Around the corner, Jeremy Frimpong reads. Connor Bradley might come on still, though. Just to change things up, get that ball around. Oh, it was just a little bit behind Demont or Beaumont. But he's going to set up Kvaradonna, who's overrun it. We're going to bottle this game if we're not careful. It's our youngster with that goal. Dahoud round the corner into Whittaker. Don't like this, but it's a block. Beraldo forward now. Kvicha, yes! We're taking him and Ekitike off, but Ngamoa, they've let him come inside again. Very risky business. We are not a goal-a-game team. We proved that in the last episode. We're still winning, but we want more goals. Beaumont, spread that out wide. It's Milos Kirkes with the new deal. Tries to shoot, doesn't. Tommy Conway, McCabe, Mamadashvili, our keeper, the hero. Oh my days, Conway, it's saved and the game is over. We caught that close, Liverpool.